So we're joined by another great guest today. We're joined by Todd Ray, who is on the new show starting this Wednesday on Fox at 10 p.m. Freak Show. Hi, Todd. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, I mean, the show looks amazing. I mean, we got to watch some previews of it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, what do you just want to tell the listeners a little bit about it?
Well, the Freak Show is the television show. Documents our live show, the Venice Beach Freak Show in Venice, California. Mm-hmm. It's the last living freak show in the world. It's a true freak show in the sense of, the P.T. Barnum days. So that's really what it is. I mean, it's a show of wonder. Its intent is to open your mind to the wonders of the world, but also to make you question what normal really is, like who came up with that idea, and then to look at yourself, and if we've done our job right, you'll be even happier about your own individuality.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you started off as a music producer, didn't you? I mean, how do you go from that to sort of doing what you're doing with the show?
Well, I was a music producer. I produced all kinds of people from Nas to Santana to the Beastie Boys, all kinds of people from hip-hop to hard rock. And, I sold a lot of records, made a lot of money, and I won 3 Grammys. But it's amazing, when I got to sort of the top of the ladder, I had someone offering me my own record label, and they handed me a contract worth millions. And at that moment, I just realized I was rich financially, but I was poor in happiness.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was that what kept calling me every day, it was like my obsession was collecting all these unusual things and memorabilia from the past. And I just started questioning, well, do you want to move forward with this because it's a really good opportunity and it'll probably set you up for life, or do you want to do something with your passion, what's calling you right now? And believe it or not, I came home to my wife and I said, I'm going to open a freak show. I'm not going to sign this contract. And that, let me tell you, my wife blew up. She thought I was insane. And, as you can imagine. And, but that's what really, I just decided I wanted to do it. And I remembered when I went into a freak show when I was 12 years old and the effect it had on me, and that was still kind of living in me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I realized at that moment when I was a kid, it had kind of shaped my view of the whole world. And, I don't know, I was getting older maybe. I just got to the point where I just felt like, life isn't about money. Life is about, seeing the world for the incredible place and the mysterious place that it really is.
Yeah.
So that's why we opened the Freak Show. That's how I got here. And on Wednesday nights, I think you will enjoy what we bring to the TV.
Definitely. Steve?
Okay, yeah, well, thank you for coming on. So, yes, the show starts this Wednesday, 10 p.m. the 26th. I was wondering if you could tell us about the characters, because some interesting people on the show. And obviously, I haven't seen the show yet, so if you could just talk us through, who we have.
Well, there's all kinds of folks, starting with my family. My wife, Danielle, who supported me through this whole crazy process. My son, who, is the co-owner, a very young man who has dedicated his every weekend and every day of his summers to the Freak Show for almost 10 years now. And my daughter, Asia, who is also one of the performers. She's grown up in the Freak Show. I helped her build her first bed of nails when she was 13 years old, and she wanted to learn how to lay on a bed of nails and have concrete blocks busted on her stomach. And I was like, you're crazy. But I helped her build it. And she's gone on to learn a lot of things, including you'll see her trying to learn how to swallow swords on the show. And let me tell you, I don't know if you have any kids, but when you see your young daughter, when you hear her gagging in the bedroom, you walk in and she's jamming a coat hanger down her throat. That's a whole other level of, trying to support your kids.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that was even a Freak Show moment where I was going crazy.
Yeah,
and,
I can imagine.
So you'll meet her, and she's a very interesting young woman, very powerful young woman too. And you'll see her grow as a performer and as a person in the show, which is really a beautiful thing to witness. And you'll meet Creature, who's one of the most famous body-modified people in the world. The man's got so many piercings in his face. He's tattooed his whole body, head to toe. And the difference between his tattoos and others is that his entire front of his body has been tattooed by his own hands. He tattoos himself. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is he never stops tattooing himself. He tattoos himself every day, so he's kind of an ever-evolving visual that you know, that's very interesting. And then you'll meet people like Morg. Morg is an incredible shock artist who does things that he shouldn't. I'll give you an example of one that you'll get a chance to see on the show, but the man can take a steel ball the size of a pool ball. He can literally swallow that ball. Then he can take a sword, swallow the sword, shoving that steel ball into the bottom of his belly. Then he can actually take that sword, turn it 360 degrees in his body, and then he takes out the sword, and then he regurgitates the ball.
I mean,
and let me tell you, I've seen a lot, but when you see this man do that, you're going to feel like you're looking at an alien in a human body. Well, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I mean,
there's so many more. You're going to meet the bearded lady, all kinds of amazing people.
I mean, the first episode I see it, and you know what he does with the power drill, that even made me cringe. And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, we actually took the time to get an X-ray of his skull while he was doing that, and that is just, it gets within a half of a centimeter of his brain.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the first episode, I mean, you one of the guys you have on it, George Bell, he's the second tallest man in America, and I mean, the show puts it right out there on Front Street. You know, you want him to come to the it's the third anniversary, isn't it? Is it the Fire Dragons or the two-headed?
Yeah, the birds of Pancho and Lefty are bearded dragons. Bearded dragons.
Yeah, and and it puts it right out there on Front Street that he's a bit uncomfortable coming because he doesn't like being referred to as a freak. You know, and I think it's quite a good segue into the show, because you know you realise that these are, it's not that you know they're not normal, it's just that everyone else is the same, and these guys are just, you know, they've got talents, and they're just a bit more out there than everyone else.
That's right. Well, you know, even with George, you see, George is a little older, you know, so he's from another time when that word was really used against people. And actually it still is, you know, to this day, the word freak has been used against people so much.
Yeah.
But as you can tell from the show, our definition of freak is what I would consider the original definition, which was really, I think its intent was just to have a word for those moments when something is not average, out of the ordinary, one of a kind, unique and incredible, you know? And those kind of descriptions, when I think of those kind of things, I think that's kind of what we all want to be, is one of a kind, you know? The idea of normal is really the normal idea. You know, just that word normal almost scares me, you know, because it seems like it's a pattern and a box that people have used to kind of put us all in, but it also takes away our own individuality and our own personal power, you know, to be ourselves. So anyway, we really embraced the word freak. George is actually going through a big transition himself, where he's, you know, really into it. And actually, I don't know if you heard, but he was on a couple episodes of American Horror Story this season.
Yeah, I'm actually halfway through that. Yeah. I mean, what's that? Because the current series is based around a freak show. I mean, would you say that sort of helped the popularity of your freak show, or?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I really, you know, who's to say, you know, and I don't want to be egoed about it, but I certainly believe that what we've done over the last 10 years has really brought a new level of attention to freak show history and sideshow history. And I think we've brought a new level to the performers out there that have struggled and worked so hard to attain these talents that are rarely seen. And so what we've really tried to do is give those performers and people an outlet and a place to express themselves and to show others that you have power too. It might be something different, but you have something too. So yeah, American Horror Story, I think, obviously here in California and out here, everyone knows about it. So there's no way they weren't influenced by it.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of things in their show that I think are, I was like, oh, they came through the Freak Show. They must have seen that. And, or just something they, felt. But it's the thing I like about American Horror Story a lot. First of all, I love the show. I've been a fan since the first season.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about this season is it's just really cool that they've created this unique world with characters, some based on the past, like the Lobster Boy.
Yeah.
In our show, we actually have the son of the original Lobster Boy on our show. I mean, the character that character Lobster Boy is based off of is Grady Stiles, the Lobster Boy, and Grady Stiles is, the genuine Lobster Boy from the Lobster family. And so yeah, I like that show, and I think we're obviously we're a really good match for it, except for we're, as they've been saying, we're the real Freak Show.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are on Fox over here, your show and American Horror Story, so that's a good run.
Theirs is scripted, ours is not. That's the difference.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time out of your day to talk to us, Todd. We really appreciate it. You've been great. We've learnt a lot, and as we said, anyone who, I insist everyone watch Freak Show, which starts this Wednesday at 10 p.m. on Fox. And have you guys got a Twitter account for your actual Freak Show or anything like that you want to put out there?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we have a few things. We have Instagram.com/Venice Beach Freak Show, Facebook.com /Venice Beach Freak Show, Twitter.com /Venice.Freak Show.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'd like to say to your listeners out there is this. Listen, folks, I'm coming to you from a whole other place over here in Venice Beach. And I want you to know this. If you feel trapped out there in the normal world, if you feel stuck in life, or maybe you don't feel like you've got what it takes, we have a ticket that will take you to a strange place. It's called the Freak Show. And once you come in, normal will never exist again. And you will find yourself before you walk outside. So see it Wednesday nights on Fox TV.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you, fellas.
Well, thanks, Todd. And
thank you.
Hopefully you take the show on the road one day and bring it over here to the UK.
Are you kidding me? That's a dream come true. A big thing we keep dreaming about, and, all you folks out in the UK, please support us and show us that love. We want to do a world tour. We want to come there with everyone. We want to come there and show everyone what it's like right there in front of your face.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That'd be amazing. We'd definitely be there. We'd be there front row. So
yeah, that'd be wicked.
Cheers, Todd.
Well, thank you.